Happy Sabbath, welcome to another Faith Talk, and today we're talking all about relationships. And I've tried to record this twice. It got deleted. The one I recorded got deleted, anyway, so I feel like it must be important that I put this one out. So I'm just going to go ahead and begin with today's quote, which is Proverbs 27:17. Iron is sharpened by iron, and a man sharpens the face of his friend. And the second quote I'm going to use is Proverbs 27:6. The wounds of a friend are true, but the kisses of an enemy are profuse. So, building a relationship with the Most High, it's challenging. I'm going to be honest with you guys. It has been the most... Woo! If I have an insight into what marriage is, I think this is what it is. This is what it is. Because there has been rocky moments. I'm being so serious. I made a prayer in 2020, I believe it was, to ask God to remove anyone from my life who's been speaking ill behind my back, who has not been true, be a true friend, and who is not for where I'm going next. And I lost 99% of my friendships. And I'm not gonna lie, I've had one or two friendships that sit close to my heart. I just feel like, oh my goodness, were they really not my friends all these years? And I feel like it's the hardest part about life is realizing you could be friends with people for years and realize they were not a friend to you. You could be pouring into people and then actually not your friend. And it was something that I had to really grieve. It took me a long time to kind of like move past it. I have now, and I am willing now to kind of like open myself up to new relationships with people and to accept that people will fall short, but depending on how they fall short and if they can be accountable, I can show up for them as a friend. So going back to the main discussion about building a relationship with the Most High, I feel like the Most High is going to hold you accountable. He's going to let you know these are the areas where you're falling short. But he's also going to do it with compassion and love. Building a relationship with the Most High, you are going to feel attacks from the enemy a lot harder. But sooner or later, you're going to feel them and they're just going to literally ping off because you're going to be armored up. So it's getting closer is harder to the Most High because sometimes there's days where you probably will feel like, oh my goodness, I'm doing nothing right, nothing's good enough, and you got to realize that's the enemy attacking you. The Most High is never gonna make you feel like crap. He's gonna hold you accountable and say you should be holding yourself to a higher standard, but he's not gonna make you feel like he's not gonna lower your self-esteem or lower your self-worth. Next thing is, we're getting closer to the relationship with the Most High, is he is going to remove your desire for materialism. And you're going to notice, this is a battle that a lot of Christians, a lot of Israelites, let me be specific, within the Old Testament, a lot of Israelites had a battle with Baal, and they, always was going back to serve Baal and Asherah. When you're about kingdom and about the business, building the kingdom on this earth, you aspire to alleviate other people's struggles. You aspire to alleviate homelessness, poverty. As much as I love a Chanel bag, and I'm not going to pretend I do, but if I'm spending 5-10 grand on a Chanel bag, I should be able to financially support a family or dedicate money to a charity or foundation. 5 or 10 grand could really help change a child's life. So when you're about kingdom business, you are above worldly stuff and you become set apart. And that's the next part of building a relationship with the Most High. You become set apart. You're not on this journey or on this kingdom life to become the next flex god or to become the next person who's showing off all their riches, casting your pearls. You're not here for that. You're here to make this world a better place. And as I said, you don't need to not buy materialistic stuff, but that shouldn't be your foundation of why you're building a relationship with the Most High, because you want to receive wealth and riches. You're serving Baal. You're serving another God. You're not serving the same God I serve. Certainly not. So these are kind of like some reflection points to think about as you're building your relationship with the Most High. How can you show up more for the kingdom? How can you show up more in your Christ-like way? How are you being more accountable for what you are doing? Can you dedicate one day a week to serving? Can you dedicate one day a week to giving time to God so you can actually hear God? And I'm not trying to say you've got to spend a whole 24 hours. It's up to you how you want to do it. But at least an hour. Yeah, I mean, every Wednesday or Thursday, for example, at 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. This is my time for just me and God. It's just one-on-one time. No internet, no music. It's just complete silence. So how can you show up and dedicate more time to God? And the final part of building a relationship with God is your values change. They really, really change. When I say to you, like, I feel like my values have somewhat, I've always had a firm level of values, and I've always been rooted in family, because family is very important to me. And I've read the Bible from since I was young, so I've had values, but I don't think I stuck by them. But where I am now, I aim to always show up with my values and my principles, and I'm not allowing anybody to take me off of them. So when you become closer to Christ, there's just certain things you just can't do. Your spirit just will reject it. Your spirit won't allow you to show up in that sort of way. Yeah, I mean, as much as you would love to be more worldly, you would want to participate. And I genuinely believe God is compassionate, and he understands the human journey. He understands the human experience. He understands that we want to go out raving. He understands we want to sometimes have poor relationships because our self-esteem is so low. But when he calls you to change, and he will call you, and it will be your choice to be chosen for that calling, to answer that calling. So when he does call you, be prepared to make a change and to make a sacrifice of your old life to begin your new life. Your single life is different to your married life. And your life when you were young and carefree, your friendships is going to be different compared to when you're older and you've got a career and you've got a family to support. Your friendships will change. So be prepared for the evolution of your friendships, the evolution of your relationship with the Most High as well, and the evolution within yourself. When I say to you, when I look at old photos of myself, I don't even recognize her sometimes. I'm like, wow, who is she? So and this is something I would say to you to do as well, is look back at your old photos and think about who that person was, what was their values, what were their interests, their habits, and compare them to who you are now. And you will notice there's such a big shift in who you are. And if there isn't a big shift, you are stagnant, unfortunately. And that might just be your human experience. You are chosen to be at that place. But if you're unhappy and you don't want to be stagnant, it's time for change. It's time to evolve. It's time to grow. And it's time to accept the call upon your life and accept that you are chosen to make an impact in the kingdom. Happy Sabbath.